Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. And today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one, where we're just going to keep drafting black forever. Now that the set has come out, just keep opening up some excellent black rares or removal spells and stuff, and this one is both. This is a full-on board wipe, then you get to search your opponent's library and exile some stuff out of it. That part is less impressive, but 6 mana, get a board wipe, and then get a massive win condition later. The 5/5 Menace Firebending 3 that can then reanimate creatures from your opponent's graveyard onto your battlefield. This is a really excellent finisher, very cool mythic rare, and definitely the strongest card in this pack. Super, super powerful stuff there. For other interesting cards, obviously the pack is not incredible. Rockalanche is pretty fun if you try to play as close to mono green as possible. This is 2 gigantic Earthbended threats. Secret Tunnel seems fine as well, but not too much outside of that. Let's just start with the Rise of Sozin here. Excellent win condition. Pick number 2. Another pack. I don't see anything super crazy in terms of the commons, but I do like the Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper quite a bit. 1 a blue and a black for a 2/4 lifelinker, already a good stat line for the cost, but as you draw your second card each turn, you spit out a little unblockable 1/1 spirit. Now that spirit can't block either, but that can still put a lot of pressure on your opponent, and it's not too hard to get them going because there's a lot of clue tokens in blue and black, so it seems like a nice color pair to try to play with our Rise of Sozin. Pick number 3. I don't think the blue or the black cards here are particularly good. I'm very much not a fan of Daily Indoctrination. There's a Lightning Strike here for solid red removal, Path to Redemption for filler white removal, and then there's Tolls of War towards the black-white sacrifice deck. Pretty fun, pretty grindy strategy. Could be a decent spot to play a board wipe as well, and we're early enough to stay speculative on our colors, so I don't mind Tolls of War. I feel like a black-white deck with Rise of Sozin at the top makes a tiny bit more sense than a black-red one, since black-red would likely be a little bit more aggressive, a little more focused on firebending and getting a lot of early damage in. So I'm going to go Tolls of War over Lightning Strike here. Pick 4, we see some reasonable filler creatures like Inspector and Ruffians in black, Battle Fan for colorless, or a reasonable filler removal spell like Watery Grasp towards the blue that we have the Swamp Spirit Keeper on. Allies at Last is probably the best card in the pack. This is super good removal for green decks, but it would be speculative removal here, and I'm not so sure how well a board wipe's going to go in green-black. I think I'll still take it here. I think it's enough better than everything else. We'll stay pretty open and just keep grabbing the strongest card each pack. Could go Shared Roots here to go for like some green-black ramp and get to our big 6-mana mythic earlier. Pretty filler black and blue spells. The best is Long Fang, which is fine if you're super creature heavy, but not super exciting. I honestly like Kyoshi Warriors. In terms of just raw power level, Kyoshi Warriors might be the strongest card here. Multiple bodies off the one card, plays well for a sack deck. Take Kyoshi Warriors. Another card for green ramp, or some filler white creatures. Don't like this blue creature this black creature very much. Kind of want to just scoop up something filler and white. 2 drops are pretty important to have. Avatar Enthusiast has fun synergy, but it is just like one pretty big creature, no enter the battlefield effect, no special abilities or anything. Pick 7, enter the Avatar state. Pretty late for a solid little hexproof trick to counter a removal spell. You can also use this to finish your opponent off by jumping into the sky. You can use it to win combat by giving first strike. I think this card's pretty good, and we're somewhat deep into white here. Allies at Last is likely a little bit stronger, but we're certainly a lot deeper to white right now. I mean, pick 7 Allies at Last has got to be... I don't know. That also seems like a huge sign, huge signal. Hop onto the green, maybe. Take Deserters. What if we just end up in green-white Allies? Because we haven't really... I mean, we've taken multicolored black spells, but in terms of individually like mono black spells that are actually powerful, we really have not seen any after pack 1 pick 1. So black could be pretty contested in this pod, to where seeing the late Allies at Last and the late like enter the Avatar state, we just move to those 2 colors as the most open here. I could see it. Bunch of battle fans that we can run as filler in our deck no matter what we end up playing. All right, pack 2, pick 1. We open up an incredible white rare, Abandoned Air Temple. So this enters tapped unless you control a basic, but then it taps for a white, and for 4 mana you can tap it and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This card's absolutely disgusting. When you are flooded out, you just keep making the board bigger and bigger and bigger. If you are in a board stall and you're both staring at each other, you're going to win that board stall soon enough because your board just keeps getting bigger. Very good with token production stuff like Kyoshi Warriors. I'm taking this Air Temple. Card seems great. And then Katara, pick 2. I don't remember seeing a bunch of good blue. We took 1 blue card, and for the most part, we took the best card out of each pack. And this is double blue, so we really have to be deep into blue to play this. But Katara is an immensely powerful card, and there's nothing else in this pack even remotely close in power level. So I still don't think it's particularly likely we actually get to play this Katara. But if we do, she's going to be like the strongest card in the whole deck by a whole lot, so I'm going to speculate on her. See if maybe blue is more open than it looked. We're seeing no green this pack. We see a great red removal spell with Firebending Lesson, a reasonable filler white creature with the Deserters. This is the safest pick, is the reasonable white creature. Nothing really good in blue. There's a reasonable black removal spell as well. It's probably one of the reasonable removal spells. Deadly Precision or Firebending Lesson. I don't think we end up in red, right? Because even if black is contested, we just play a little of it for the Rise of Sozin, Tolls of War, and Deadly Precision here. Yeah, we just take the black spell. Pick 4, reasonable white creatures, which is beautiful. It's going to be the easiest picks for us. Glider Kids for mana curve purposes, we got no 3 mana creatures right now. We could play Hama theoretically in blue, white, or black, white, so that's a little interesting because of the hybrid cost, but we would have to be pretty deep into either blue or black, and I don't think that'll happen. I think we're going to be close to like a 10-7 split, like 10 plains, 7 swamps, or 10 plains, 7 islands, something like that, so I don't think we really get to cast Hama all that well. And they also are a bit slow. I mean, I've had a blue-black deck and taken something else over them. Pick 5. Oh man, maybe this is actually a Boros trap on the end. Awkward. Sun Warriors and Firebending Lesson. Again, I'm really not that married to either of these colors, but I'm a mythic deep into black and a bomb rare deep into blue. And there's a very good white creature in here that'll definitely make the cut instead of a slightly speculative pick like Sun Warriors or Lesson. I'm taking Kyoshi Warriors. But man, the Boros deck that could have been. Corrupt Court Official on this one. Yeah. Or the Watery Grasp is okay. Yip Yip is the safest pick. Not like a incredible combat trick, but one that we can run for sure since we're definitely white. I'd take the Court Official though. Another Court Official here nice and late. Good sack fodder. I do like another Kyoshi Warriors, but I'm really low on non-creature spells, removal style spells, so I think Razor Rings fits well here. Pick 9 Kyoshi Warriors. I mean, white is the color to be. I think we read that pretty well. That white is a good one to be, but the secondary color has been a little more nebulous. We saw a few packs in a row of really good red. We got past a Katara and now a Lost Days relatively late. But also like pack 1, these Allies at Last went super late. One of these went like pick 9 or something. So it's been pretty interesting. Taking Azula Always Lies here. Indoctrination I'd rather not play. Destined Confrontation I think is just a little too matchup dependent to be trying to run this thing in best of one. But it could be interesting sideboard. Interesting as a sideboard option. Alright, pack 3. A blue rare and an excellent blue uncommon. Shucks. Probably on sold out here. Or a black-white duel. Or even Jet Freedom Fighter. Again, we're going to be like a 10 planes deck where I think we can justify a triple white mana cost. That's real close between Jet and sold out. Because again, I'm on like 2 removal still, which is real low. I'm going to go sold out. I'm going to make sure I've got interaction that always works no matter what's happening on my board. I do not want to play Southern Air Temple. This card looks absolutely horrendous in a deck that already has Abandoned Air Temple. This is the infinitely better version, essentially. I do not like this pack. I don't really like anything in it, regardless of color. I mean, I like Guru Pathik. Seems like a very fun card. A pretty strong one in a set that has so many lessons. It's just not at all what we're doing right now. Wolf Bet. Come in here and get ready to get cut. Second Tools of War. We don't actually have that many ways to sacrifice our cards and trigger these things right now. But the second copy helps the first copy be a lot better. And we do have 1 Deadly Precision. We're speculating on these over just taking like a Pox Bearers. I think this is perfectly reasonable speculation. Path to Redemption, we are still not super high on removal, and this is a removal spell that could trigger our Tools of War, which we're low on ways to trigger right now. So I don't hate that, but Master Piandao, if they get attacks, then is also just insane. Because the majority of our creatures, just in general, are going to be allies. We've got like 7 allies, 2 lessons. If there's 9 cards this can hit, and it digs 4 cards deep each time, I really like Master Piandao. I take them over Path to Redemption, but it's kind of close there. Trying to find more ways to trigger Tools of War. Looks like it worked out perfectly fine. We get another removal spell here anyway with Razor Rings. It's not a removal spell that can trigger Tolls, but it is a removal spell. Speaking of removal spells that can trigger Tolls, believe it or not, I am more than happy to take Barrels of Blasting Jelly here with double Tools of War in the deck. Blow some up with my barrels. Not super interested in the naturalized creature, but I feel like I'm definitely not playing the Hog Monkey. I guess I don't have a lot of 3s. Alright, I'll take a Hog Monkey. Okay, this looks like a much better 3-mana play. Water Tribe Captain. It is an ally to draw with Master Piandao. With our token production and stuff, we can buff the whole board. Yeah, I like the Captain here. Get a black-white dual pick 9, and we can also sacrifice it. And this triggers off of any permanent that we're sacrificing, so this is actually really good with double Tolls. Swamp Hunters that I don't want to play. Let's cut the Wolf Bat and the Hog Monkey, I think. I guess I need to put like 1 card back in this deck, because this is 22 non-land cards right now. I could actually play the Sunblessed Peak without even playing red. Just as another card to sacrifice. Sure, I'll play a Hog Monkey. So this is the deck, I believe. Kind of built it as we went. We bounced around our colors enough here that there wasn't too much we could choose to cut. Interesting little black-white deck here. Not a whole ton of sack synergy for our double Tools of War, but I think since they play into each other pretty well, we have A Barrels and A Deadly Precision that they could still work out a little bit in this deck. We also have 2 lands to sack to them as well. 1 really good bomb rare and a solid curve. Plenty of interaction. Yeah, this looks like a reasonable deck. Not a great one or anything. I would not expect this to get a 7 winner, but should be able to pull off a nice average. Maybe 4-3, maybe 5-3. I don't know, fingers crossed. We'll see how far it gets in practice as we hop in the gameplay. Alright, here we are on the play for game 1. We don't have anything to play on turn 2, so we're not mega curving out or anything, but the hand looks fine as long as we draw a land. Unfortunately, our first draw is another 4-mana card, which is awkward. Here's Deserters. We draw on turn 3. Could have played it through the Quench if we had it on turn 2. Our opponent's on a Water Skin, so they are up 2 mana from us. Here's Water Tribe Captain. Sokka and Deserters. That was a brutal misland, because land 4 lets us sold out Sokka there, and the fact that they could put a counter on it from Deserters means Razor Rings doesn't even 1-for-1 kill it. We have to kill 2 of our cards to kill it, but it would be worth the 2-for-1 trade because Sokka's going to more than 2-for-1 us over time regardless, off of the attack triggers drawing our opponent extra cards. It's the removal that kind of gets around the reanimation. Draw the extra card off Sokka. We do find land 4 after missing 2 land draws this game. They have the mana for Quench now because we haven't drawn this yet, but they do not have the second copy of Quench, luckily. They are way ahead on cards. They still got 4 cards left in hand here, with 7 mana sources on the board, actually. Toph turns their artifact into a land, so they could Earthbend it if they want. Toph Earthbends 2 every single end step. Alright, well, I feel like unless we draw our board wipe, they've got us with the Toph here. If you have any way to consistently Earthbend, like once every turn, then you can combo it up with the sack lands as well. Oh, Jesus. Could combo with the Meteor Sword, because that is technically a land. They can Earthbend the Meteor Sword. That way, if I kill the Meteor Sword, it comes back and blows up another card. But the combo with the sack lands that I was talking about is that they can sacrifice them to draw a card, and then also... when they die, they come back because they're Earthbent. I'm surprised they didn't do it on the Meteor Sword there, but I guess it's because they can actually use it as an equipment still. But you can't equip a creature to somebody else if it doesn't have reconfigure. Could have cast Corrupt Court Official and tried to hold up Razor Rings to kill Toph here. But yeah, if they equip Toph, Toph is too big anyway. Alright, they're playing on the defensive now. Just holding everybody back. There's Gran. Alright, that's the 5th out of 6 mana that we would need for the board wipe, so... we do still have an out here. Can rip their last card out of their hand, but they can start comboing the North Pole Gates with Toph now. Sack it, draw a card, put it back on the board. Next turn in the end step, animate it again. Sack it, draw a card, put it back on the board. They are not going to sack it here. They're going to let us get rid of their last card. Or if it is an instant, they're going to cast it right now. Earthbend the Meteor Sword. Sure. Here's Glider Kids to dig closer to the board wipe. Barrels of Blasting Jelly is not the board wipe, but... And it can't kill Toph the turn we draw it. I guess neither can the board wipe, because I need to draw the board wipe and a 6th land. I think I just scry anything that isn't the board wipe to the bottom. I'm pretty happy with the amount of 3 toughness stuff we have here against all the 2 power Earthbended cards. But again, our opponent can really go for the long game, grind it out by getting repeatable gates value. Our opponent did not know they can't equip the Meteor Sword once it's a creature. But again, it is a big problem when Earthbended, because I definitely can't kill it here. It just goes right back to the board, kills my best card. We chump. Land for turn. Earthbend another land. That could win us the game if we have enough life total for it. We play it and activate it immediately, hit them for 3, and they're at 4. I have 3 blockers left. Block, block, block. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm 1 damage from dead. Correct. Block, block, block. Block, block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they miss on their draw step, this is the win. They got 1 turn to kill me. They have to draw something. Or we live with 1 life and then kill them. If they choose to sack the North Pole gates here, then that's 2 less damage, so there's less outs, but they have more time to hit one of those outs. They have more draws to hit one of those outs. But now basically the only thing I think that can win them the game is exactly removal. It can't be like a combat trick thing, because I wouldn't quite get there. Obviously not going to let the Meteor Sword my Glider Kids. Oh my god, they hit a life gainer? Come on. Okay, so we have to go for 2 turn lethal, which means instead we play double blocker here. Ay, ay, ay. This is stressful. Yeah, I like double blocker because it's double blocker plus hold up or razor rings. So this is like very safe to live another turn. Did they draw the instant speed removal for this Glider Kids? They did. Destroy target attacking creature. Rough. Just in time. Okay. Controls, draw a card, get a chumper, and have razor rings up, so that feels better than master. Got that hog monkey. More removal off the top. Send in the squad. Let's do this before they draw. We've just hit all spells these last like 4 draws. Good lord. Counterspell 2. I believe that's probably lethal then. Yep, because they had the counterspell as well. Those are real good draws. That was still super close against the double rare. Got them down to 2. Might have missed a point of damage earlier. If we missed a single point of damage, we could have gotten there. Because that turn that they drew the life gainer, if they didn't gain that exactly 1 life, we could have gotten the kill. Setting in the flyer and putting 1 more counter on it, but because they hit that life gain, if we sent it in and put another counter on it, or if we sent it in and buffed it with the captain, we would have put them to 1 at that point instead of 0. So it's possible 1 extra point of damage earlier in the game wins that game. Yeah. Yeah, Tough was just active for so long that game. That was gnarly. We got 1 activation from Air Temple, so that was pretty sick, but Tough kind of just demolished us. So close, though. All right. 0-1 heading into game 2. All right, here we are on the play for game number 2. Got a 2-drop creature, 3-drop creature. Every land in this hand's a tap land, though, so we don't get to play on curve, but still a keep. Hello. I'm going to play the always tapped lands first. That way if I hit a basic, I could play an untapped land on 3 and 4. Corrupt Court Official. Feeling like Battle Fan here. Keep the healer over that. Alright, did not hit the land. Let's go... Yeah, let's go healer. Big enough to hold the official off of us. Wrong order. Planes, you were supposed to be here last turn. Well, we can double spell here. I don't really think I need to make this a 3-3. I can to play around Azula's +1/+1 and -1/-1 spell. Yeah, that feels fine. Let's play around the Azula Always Lies. That would put a +1/+1 counter on official. -1/-1 the healer. I guess it's still a trade. Never mind. It's not like the perfect way to play around it, but now they can't just eat the healer. They would have to lose the official and Azula Always Lies. If I did not put the counter on the healer, then they could make the official a 2/2 and the healer a 1/1, and they get to keep a 2/2 on their board. Yeah, this is actually perfectly fine, because we trade 1.5 cards for 1.5 cards, basically. We got rid of their entire Azula Always Lies and the creature half of Court Official. They got rid of our entire Compassionate Healer and the +1/+1 counter half of Deserters. I think I like glider kids here. Sure, 3-drop and crack the clues, fine. I probably should have just kept the land last time as well. Lee agents, that's a nightmare. Drains us for life equal to number of creatures with counters on them when it attacks. I'm gonna have to sell that out. I think. If this game goes long, it's actually a really good Tools of War game. Because we have 2 sack lands in this clue. Badger Mole. So now all their stuff has trample, and that's a pretty big creature already. Super wide board here. I would have been very surprised if they held that swamp backwards. Instead of sending it in. Get the land for Kyoshi Warriors. Looks great. Might just start spamming Abandoned Air Temple. It's 5 +1/+1 counters now. It's probably more impactful than adding a 3/3 to the board. We do got pretty good tax already. Yeah, I'm already not the happiest with our trades because that lowers our board pre-Air Temple activations. But we trade Warriors and a 1/2 into the Badger Mole. They've got a single black mana untapped, so they can't have like another Azula Always Lies. I'm a little sad about it, but I'm pretty sure I have to trade with Badger Mole. Ooh, first striking blocker? Not so much for Air Temple this turn, then. No removal, no removal, no removal. Let him stay. They play a land, they've got 2 cards left in their hand. Another Earth Kingdom Soldier to make their first of 4/5 to get past our first striker. Nasty. We'll take a hit from it. It's unfortunate Tools of War only works during our turn. Their last card is just like another creature or something, we're fine. But it's an excellent removal spell. Gross. Alright, then we're way behind on board now. Just another Kyoshi Warriors. It's just not fast enough. Because I play it now and then I don't have time to activate the Air Temple at all before I have to just be chomping already, because the double soldier was so much power in the endgame here. It's still the best we've got, right? I can't just crack a land and make 1/1/1. Yep. Our opponent is completely playing off the top now. Yep. It's another removal spell. 13 damage on this board. 2-for-1 for Missoula always lies. Court official their last card. If I court official their last card, which is likely to be a land based on how they played, then I don't have air temple mana up. I think I just need to air temple. Alright, if it was removal, they would have cast it. If it was a creature, they would have cast it. Their last card was a land, and now they top-decked another removal spell this turn. This is not Waterbending, is it? No, it's not. We hit the land, so now I can get their land out of their hand and activate Air Temple. Ostrich Horse is the draw. That's another creature and another land. Good mills off of it. Mill the 3 land is really good for them. Make sure that they don't draw those. They choose not to draw the land. They're just going to get the power instead. Okay, I will eat the swamp. Eyes of Sozin. Honestly, seems a little risky on this board. I think I would rather just play the Abandoned Air Temple, Tolls of War long game. Got the 2-2 on 4-2, 3-3 to stop the 1-1. Just get the board wider and then keep activating the temple. Yikes. Okay, I might have to board wipe against that. Because that's going to drain me for 1 every turn that they crack a clue. And I don't have a big enough flyer to block it. I can't play and activate Wolfbat. Please be 2 mana or less. Play a 2 mana creature here. I'm begging you. Empty your hand, opponent. Whatever it is playable, but they haven't played land for turn yet, so it could be land. Oh, it's a 2 mana creature. Let's go. Rising up, straight to the top. Am I choosing against black-green? Oh my god, they top deck Badgermole for 2 hasty damage. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. We're 0-2 heading into game 3. Here we are for game 3 with a forced mulligan, triple white card in this hand, and only swamps. Both of our colors now. Do we ditch the 5-drop? Feel like we probably ditch the 5-drop. With the tolls to draw another card, it might not be insane to ditch a land. We've got 3 castable spells, 1 draws a card towards the mana. And this is the kind of card that can really help make up for a mulligan. I'm gonna ditch a land here. Probably lead with Tolls of War, ready to activate on 3. Green-red from our opponent. Great beatdown color pair. The Cabbage Merchant for ramp, and we draw Barrels of Blasting Jelly. Let's draw our card, try to hit our land. We do not hit our land. curve out with a Tigerdillo. We find land 3 on turn 4. Could cast Corrupt Court Official, or I'm holding up Razor Rings or Azula Always Lies. I don't really think I'm casting either, though. I'm definitely not raising the Cabbage Merchant, and the Tigerdillo might not even be attacking. I'm certainly not casting Azula Always Lies. Maybe best to just run out Court Official here. It's the only guaranteed way to affect the board right now. Because again, we do not want to target Cabbage Merchant with Razor Rings because they can just respond by shuffling it in and getting their land off this ability. Looks like it was the right choice. They do not play a 4-power creature for Tigerdillo. So we would have done nothing just holding up Razor Rings mana there. Missed another land, but Glider Kids can scry for us now. Finds land 4, but it's a tap land. Not ideal. Drop the barrels, hold up our instance. And then next turn we're basically good. Right, we're at the point where we can cast anything. I wouldn't say good, we're probably behind. Certainly a little behind on board right now. But we're to like a normal back and forth game of Magic. Starting next turn. Whether or not we hit land 5 or not, but especially if we hit land 5. Can Razor Rings the 3/3? Can try to kill both the 1/1s here. Could kill both the 1/1s and it would leave behind a 2/2 for later to block better elsewhere. I think I want to Azula Always Lies. They want to spend a removal spell on Corrupt Court Official, that's fine. We still kill one of their cards. Yeah. That's still a 1-for-1, and we made them kill our 1/1 while we killed their 1/1, so both of us killed a not very important card in that exchange, essentially. First strike and blocker, or do I just barrels? Barrels gives me another blocker with the Tolls of War, which is enticing. Give them some time to maybe decide to blow up our Glider Kids. Whatever we do, it's not the 4-mana play, because I could go 4-mana play plus Razor Rings if I hit land 6 later. I'm going to try to hold off on Master here. And I'm actually going to stop attacking as well. Just work on stabilizing. This also forces removal if they want to get in, which makes Master more likely to resolve. No attacks though. Tiger Dillo still not active. Could play Captain and hold up Razor Rings. Or we play Master and pray that we have gotten them out of removal off the double technique. I'm going to play Master here. It's just astronomically good if they don't have more removal. They got more removal. One card left in their hand though, so it's just all removal. Tiger Dillo just completely useless. So we are still slowly getting ahead here. We have 3 cards left over, they have 1, and the board state's pretty much even. Ooh, blue source for a potential splash, but that is not what's in their hand.
That's rough, buddy.
They're flooding out over there. We'll drop warriors and pass. +3/+1, get a clue token. Still small enough to just be a trade. I don't think I sold out. Oh, the Tiger Dillo gets active. Yeah, I should have sold out. But that's also just a trade. You're not like eating anybody here for free. We'll trade Razor Rings for Tiger Dillo, still have a sold out for their next threat. Cool. There's an argument for not casting Poxbearers, because there are some creatures where it would be important to kill them literally the second they come down instead of waiting until we untap. Not a lot of them, but there's a couple. You know, like some kind of big scary haster would be the clearest example. But it's awkward. We're not really going to be able to hold up sold out here because Tolls of War only triggers during our turn. So when we get to like this point with no creatures to play in hand, we're going to have to just be sacking lands at sorcery speed, so on. Things Crew 2. I guess I still should have sacked at main phase 2 so I could have sold out up on this attack declaration. Nice. Yeah, we get punished for that a little bit. I mean, would I cast Sold Out on Warship against this? Probably wouldn't want to still. Fire Nation Attacks was an incredible draw, though. 4 2/2s in the top deck war. Very good against 1/1 removal. And then the board wipe is very good against that. So we just want to sit here, till our opponent flashes back, and then we want a board wipe. And we're fine to just chump here. They should not be running any counter spells because their blue looks like a very light splash. You basically should never splash counter spells because they're the kind of cards you need the mana for early to be relevant. So I don't think we play around Quench at all. Bunch of Firebending mana. If I leave Poxbearers around, I get to keep a 1/1 post board wipe, which is important against Earthbending. This is obviously going to look suspicious, but I think I'm going to do it this way, regardless. Still play more creatures anyway. Rising up. They still get their warship, so any creature they draw can crew that and send it, but I will have a trump blocker at least since I held on to Poxbearers for now. Land for our opponent and they pass through. What card name am I choosing against red? Firebending lesson, probably. They have a mountain in hand. They got Boomy, Flopsy, Jet. They have some really high mana value scary cards. Bunch of lands and a bunch of mid-range creatures. Ooh, Dragonfly Swarm's the splash, I see. More removal with Earth Rumble. Okay, cool deck. No Firebending lesson, though. Poke for 1. Drop a couple Duders. And pass. Just more lands. That's the concession. The evil smiley face. That is a victory. We are not 0-3 out of it. I will take absolutely anything I can get now after our first couple games, both being just exceptionally close, but losses in the end. Man. All right, 1 and 2. See if we can't pull ourselves out of the 1-2 pit here and get a serviceable record here, get a not embarrassing record out of the draft at least. All right, here we are for game number 4. We are 1 and 2 right now. We got to win every game to stick into this event, and I would like to. I don't think this deck is 1-3 material, so hopefully we can pull it out of there. I mean, I did say when we built the deck, it's like 4-3 material, not 7-win material, but still. I think we can do better than 1-3. We'll see. Our opponent is a very multicolored ally deck. They're green, white, and black, and they lead with the Earthen ally that cares about having all 5 colors. So, potentially terrifying matchup. Get that hog monkey. Because I can play 2/2 drops next turn. So it helps us be a lot more mana efficient with our curve. Kyoshi Warriors, that's a lot of allies. That's a lot of allies. That's a terrifying amount of allies. They could literally just go basic land attack, and then because of the captain's ability, that is an absolute nightmare for us already. Does Court Official have one of these tricks up? They must have a lot of lands in their hand, because I would imagine their best play being land attack activate. Maybe it's something better. Uncle Iroh. It is something better. That's a 3/2 Earthen ally now. Okay, I can Razor Rings the Warriors, or I can Azula Always Lies. I could kill 2 things with Azula Always Lies if I'm really lucky with where I put it. But it feels kind of unlikely. I do like getting a bigger creature here. I think I want to Azula Always Lies. No, I'm going to Razor Rings. I'm going to get greedy with it and see if we can't really pop off with the Azula. Tolls of War. Mana off from doing that and holding up the Always Lies. So we pass through and we Always Lies if that's reasonable, and if it isn't reasonable, then we spend all 5 to exhaust Hog Monkey. The Firebending mana from Uncle Iroh would allow them to activate the Captain, but they're just going to pass through against all this open mana. They're scared, so we'll activate Hog Monkey then. Deadly Precision's the draw. Now I can Tolls. And have Azula Always Lies up. I could Deadly Precision instead, but then I don't have Azula Always Lies up. I don't think I want to Precision here just yet. But I do think killing Water Tribe Captain would be pretty reasonable. Team Avatar the Hog Monkey. Alright, I'll Azula Always Lies then. This will mega save the monkey. I mean, just the -1/-1 alone will be enough to save it, so I could put the counter elsewhere. Sure. Menacing Hog Monkey. Am I really on attacks, though? I feel like I'm still not on attacks yet. Path to Redemption on the Hog Monkey. We'll Precision it away then to kill the Captain. Well, they're 4 out of 5 colors to the Earth and Ally. Yeah, there's 2 cards I'd really like to kill then. Let's go for the Deadly Precision first so that they cannot sack the Path to Redemption. Let's kill the Earth and Ally first. Does this change anything? No, they're just getting the 5 colors so they could, in theory, do that in the future. Okay. We're vibing. We're decently ahead here. The only issue is that they have access to all 5 colors. So whatever terrifying rares and signpost uncommons and stuff are in their deck, those are all top decks they could hit. That would be terrifying. Played a little greedy here. I could immediately just barrels the Captains this turn, but I would rather have double tools out first. And then we'll barrels it next turn. This means no attacks for now. They're doing some digging of their own. They have sacked their only black source, if that matters. Passionate Healer. Barrels the Captain. Trigger, trigger. Sack a 2/2 to deal a million. Don't feel the need to Razor Ring Zyro. We just go wide and attack through them. Save Razor Rings for somebody potentially scarier. Another cycle of renewal. We are happy to see that. They are a 5-color deck here, so they have to run some amount of this extra fixing that ends up being more dead draws for our opponent. They block a 2/2, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're not quite dead yet, but they're close enough that they are going to scoop them up there, and that is 2 and 2. We're climbing out of it. We're getting there. We are 1 win away from turning our 0-2 start into at least a 50-50 run on this draft. We'll see how far we can continue the rally here as we head into Game 5. Here we are on the draw for Game number 5. Pretty good hand here. 4 lands is like a tiny bit high for an opener, but it's good in a hand that has good 4-drops like this. We've drawn our 5th land, which we'll just play on turn 5, because we've got the curve out 2, 3, 4, and then on turn 5 we play another 4-drop and a tap land. Uh-oh. Pretty quick, pretty aggressive start with the Toph here. It's a 2-3 and a 2-2 off of that one spell. Here's our Glider Kids. Show me a land to scry to the bottom. Let's go. Full value from Glider Kids. Put that land straight in the bin. Oh, good lord, no. Earth King is one of the strongest rares. 4 mana for a 2-2 and a 4-4. That is 6 power and toughness of stats for only 4 mana, one of which ramps you into another land every single turn. And this is not a hand with any removal in it. So this is not looking very good for our heroes. Or should I say our allies. Alright, any combat trick in the world is miserable here. I feel like it only gets worse if I block with more creatures. Okay, removal spell. Just get quenched here. Thank goodness we do not. Gonna have to hold Glider Kids back to try to double block with Warriors and Glider Kids now. Okay. Let's see what the combat trick is that gets worse for us. Okay, just 3-3 and a 1-1. Second bomb rare has hit the board. And it's suited for a 3rd. Oh. That doubles up the Aang triggers. So if they flip Aang, they Earthbend 2 twice with Katara. They ramp twice with the Earth King. I mean, what are you gonna do, honestly? Let's dig, because I can dig and play the fan, play absolutely everything, but I don't think there's any coming back from these. Our temple is theoretically good, but we don't have nearly enough time to actually load the counters out with that. Attack with only Aang? This must mean something weird. Oh god, Airbend Aang double trigger? Oh, there's Earth Kingdom Protectors that can sacrifice itself to save any of their other bomb rares. And then there's a removal spell on a stick. Sack it to flip the Aang. For the double Earthbend, we just hit a land. I don't even know what we're digging for at this point, but it's all we can do. All we have are lands. I mean, I could activate an air temple, but that's nowhere near enough to actually do any blocking here. It's another land. Oof. I don't know what combination of cards could possibly have given us a chance here, but it is certainly not 10 lands. There's the double Earthband on the village. The double ramp off of this, which is actually 6 basics out of their deck, because 3 attacking 4 power greater creatures. We have ran headfirst into our opponent's Magical Christmas Land hand. Maybe I should have killed Qatar instead of the 6-3. But if I did, I'd be at like 4 now. Alright. You got me. 2 and 3 it is. Our worst record so far, certainly a bit of a disappointment, but I don't think we got a particularly strong deck out of this draft pod, so I'm not disappointed I didn't get a 7 winner or anything, but it is always rough to lose more games than you win, but those were some really, really rough losses. Our first 2 losses, at least we got pretty close. Right, the very first loss, our opponent had a Toph that we couldn't interact with for a really long time, and we still got them down to 2 life. We were actually 1 damage away from the kill there, so at least that was really close. And then the second loss as well, we had the Rise of Sozin about to flip if they did not top deck a hasty Earthbent creature for exact lethal. We could have won off of the Sozin flip pretty easily. So even if those games were losses, at least our deck still got really, really close there. But wow, that final game, felt like we showed up with a Nerf gun and they just pulled out the Gatling gun and shredded us to bits. Just incredible synergy from multiple bomb rares kind of finding each other and double triggering each other and all of that stuff. So yeah, I kind of forgot we had the Rise of Sozin in there. I guess there was 1 single out in that last game again, which goes to show you how immensely powerful this mythic is. Even in all those games that we were mega losing, it was like our 1 out where it's like, well, we are the chess advantage meter is like 90-10 in our opponent's favor right now, but 1 Rise of Sozin top deck could potentially stabilize us. And it actually did, I think, for one of our victories, if not both of them. This card was definitely the best thing going for our deck. Biggest underperformers, overperformers, cards that I think played a lot better than I thought they would, or worse than I thought they would. I don't recall anything that played way better or worse than I thought it would. I think the Tolls of War actually went better than I thought they would. I thought this deck was going to just not trigger them really at all, but there were multiple games that we were sacking lands in the end game for them. Obviously that one game we got both of them out on the board at the same time was really nice. We got the Jelly with the Tolls. The Tolls actually played perfectly fine in here, but the lack of sacrifice cards, just kind of like the 4 different sacrifice cards outside of the double Tolls, did make it look like they were going to be quite mediocre, but they actually played perfectly fine. So they're probably the biggest overperformer, not because they were great, but I thought they would be super, super filler, but they actually played out perfectly fine. Biggest underperformers don't really go to anything that I thought was going to be great. I guess Master Piandao, we did not get to attack with him a single time. He just always died before it happened, so that counts a little bit. But the weakest cards in the deck, the worst stuff in this deck in general, is because we were kind of bouncing between our colors so often early, we did miss out on some of the like maybe slightly stronger filler cards when we were still thinking about maybe we're a blue-black deck, maybe we're a blue-white deck, maybe we're a green-white deck. We did end up with some really filler cards like Hog Monkey, Wolf Bat, just not that good in here. Battle Fans, not the most exciting. So there's certainly a bit of pretty mid filler in this deck. That if we improved the quality of those cards, would help the deck quite a bit. But overall, I don't think it's that horrific. And just got a little bits of the shorter end of the stick here at a 2 and 3. I think that's the lower end of how well this deck would do. I still believe after playing with this deck and experiencing how it actually played out, that this probably averages out to that kind of 4-3 record. But today was certainly not the day for that. We got absolutely demolished. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.